Hey there, cozy builders. My name is Sam, and welcome to my Tiny Glade series. In this series, I take inspiration from either the daily Tiny Glade pre-builds or real historical buildings from around the world, and I try to create a beautiful scene within a 1-hour time frame. Then I add some fast-forward magic and share a few fun tidbits related to the build. Today we're going to learn about the famous Pontefract Castle and the turbulent conflicts surrounding the fortress. Located in West Yorkshire, England, Pontefract Castle is a historic fortress with a rich and precarious past. Built around 1070 by Norman knight turned baron Ilbert de Lacy, it was a reward from William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, who fought alongside de Lacy in 1066 at the Battle of Hastings. After William defeated King Harold, the last Anglo-Saxon king of England, and took the English crown, he re-established English lands to his most loyal supporters, stripping them from Anglo-Saxon nobility. This victory led to the Norman conquest of England and the beginning of Norman rule, which deeply reshaped English culture, law, and architecture. Thanks to his loyalty, Ilbert was granted a large estate in Yorkshire, known as the Honour of Pontefract, which became one of the largest feudal holdings in northern England. The structure was initially a wooden fort on a mound, later rebuilt in stone in the 12th century with a central keep and strong curtain walls. The de Lacy family, and later the House of Lancaster, expanded the castle. Multiple round towers were added for better defense. A great hall and residential buildings were built to host royal events, and a large outer bailey was constructed for troops and supplies. The castle helped secure the north of England, which was fiercely resistant to Norman rule. It ensured military control over critical area prone to rebellion and became a symbol of Norman authority. Over the centuries, Pontefract Castle played a significant role in English history. It was not only a royal residence and a center of local administration, but also a prison. I thought I would take some time to talk about 3 of the most historical moments surrounding Pontefract Castle, starting with the death of King Richard II. King Richard II of England came to the throne in 1377 at just 10 years old. As he grew older, he developed a strong belief in divine right, thinking he was chosen by God and shouldn't be challenged. He bypassed Parliament, favored a small circle of advisors, and heavily taxed the population, making him unpopular. Richard executed or exiled powerful nobles, including Henry Bolingbroke, his cousin, which enraged key political families. In 1399, Richard seized Henry Bolingbroke's lands, breaking a core feudal law regarding inheritance rights, and then exiled the future successor. While King Richard was away in Ireland, Henry returned to England, claiming he only wanted to reclaim his inheritance. But he gained so much support that by the time King Richard returned, Henry had effectively taken control of England. King Richard II was forced to abdicate the throne in September 1399, and Henry Bolingbroke became King Henry IV of England. Richard was imprisoned in Pontefract Castle and ultimately died in captivity under suspicious and likely violent circumstances. His body was displayed to prove he was dead and prevent uprising, making his downfall dramatic and deeply tied to political conflict, poor leadership decisions, and growing resentment among the nobility. His death marked a pivotal moment in the Lancastrian rise to power. The usurpation of Richard II set the stage for the Wars of the Roses, a series of civil wars fought between the House of Lancaster, Red Rose, and the House of York, White Rose, for control of the English throne starting around 1455. At that time, Pontefract Castle was held by the House of Lancaster, thanks to its connection to the father of Henry IV, who had inherited it through his marriage to the de Lacy heiress. As a Lancastrian stronghold, it became a base for operations in the north. In 1460, during one of the early surges of Yorkist power, the castle fell to Richard, Duke of York. However, Richard was later killed that same year at the Battle of Wakefield, and the castle returned to Lancastrian control for a time. By the end of the Wars of the Roses, the castle had served both houses and had seen prisoners, executions, sieges, and changing rulers for many years. In 1485, the Lancastrian Henry Tudor, also known as King Henry VII, defeated Yorkist Richard III, ending the Wars of the Roses. Lancaster became the ruling house again, launching the Tudor dynasty, and Pontefract Castle continued to serve as a royal fortress. Which leads me to the English Civil War, a series of armed conflicts and political struggles between parliamentarians who believed the king should not have absolute power, and royalists who believed the king ruled by divine right and did not need Parliament's approval. The fighting spanned 9 years between 1642 and 1651. In 1642, King Charles I officially declared war on Parliament and created a ruthless divide in England. Between 1643 and 1644, heavy fighting began across England. Parliament allied with the Scots and pushed the Royalists back after the Battle of Marston Moor in 1644. Parliament continued to defeat the Royalists, and eventually King Charles surrendered and was handed over to Parliament in 1647 with the help of the Scottish. However, Charles negotiated with the Scots, creating yet another civil war, but was once again defeated by Parliament. In 1649, King Charles I was tried and executed for treason, an act that was unprecedented in English history. England was declared a Commonwealth, led by Parliament, and Charles's son was crowned King of Scotland, which incited, you guessed it, another civil war. Charles invaded England once again, and once again was defeated by Parliament. Parliamentarian forces won total control, and because of its repeated use as a royalist base and a symbol of resistance, ordered Pontefract Castle to be demolished. The castle was semi-dismantled, stone by stone, to prevent it from ever being used in a rebellion again. A symbol of dominance, wealth, and authority, the castle had become one of the strongest in northern England, often referred to as the Key to the North. Today, the impressive ruins of Pontefract Castle are a heritage site open to the public free of charge, offering a glimpse into its storied past. Visitors can explore the remains of the castle, its underground dungeons, and remnants of towers, and learn about its history through various exhibits and guided tours. And there we have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this build and learning about Pontefract Castle. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to stay up to date on my next upload. Thanks for spending this time with me in Tiny Glade, and I'll see you next time. Bye!